everybody has their own talent in some ways, and designing things and building unique things was one of mine. So it worked well in Hollywood, and it's worked out, real good here too. I'm Gary Monteleone. I own Monteleone's Italian Restaurant. That's what I do now. I used to work as a set designer and props man at Universal Studios. Well, I was always creative, since I was a little kid, so it's something I wanted to get into. When I first went out to California, I did get a job right away at Universal Studios, but they didn't have anything in set design or prop work. I did everything during the time. I did tram tours. I helped at the restaurants. At night, I cleaned the sidewalks, whatever needed to be done. They asked me about my school background. Well, I told them high school, I did a little bit of college, but nothing as far as design or anything like that. And I told them, I said, well, just give me the opportunity. Let me show you what I can do. If you don't like my work or my creativity, then just let me off. And I gave it a try, and you gave me the opportunity. But she kept, well, I'm really sorry, we can't do that, and whatever. Well, anyway, her boss was listening around the corner, so he called me into his office. So he gave me a project to do, and he said, you have 48 hours to build the most futuristic ATM machine. And if the producer likes it when you're finished, you got the job. Worked hard on it, put it together, unveiled it, he loved it, and then I was in after that. Everything's kind of drawn and sketched, and then everything goes through and is approved by the producer, and then we do kind of a model of it, and then once that's approved, then we actually build the actual unit. If it's something you really want to do, I would definitely pursue it, because I'm proven fact of it worked for me, and I didn't have the background or anything. But if you have the determination, and they like, and they know you're determined to make it work, and they see that in you, they'll give you the opportunity. When we moved back to El Paso, we found this property, and along with my grandparents' recipes, and opened an Italian restaurant. What I wanted to do in the back in the 20s, early 30s, they had the speakeasy. So the gambling and drinking and all of that was underground. So I wanted to kind of give it that feel. That was the reason of the tunnel coming into the building and stuff like that. The vintage look, the old lettering and everything was all based on that. I just wanted an old speakeasy, old Italian looking restaurant.
My name is Jorge Peña. I play the keyboards.
My name is Claudio Castañón. I play the guitars and I sing.
I am Mijer. I played the bass.
My name is Sergio. I play the guitar in Las Himalayas.
The style that we use in our band, it comes from different people and different things that we all hear. So each of us, we include different styles. And the last song we were working on, it came out like a little bit of dancing, and I can even say a little bit of salsa there with piano. That's why I would say we consider it as jungle pop, I guess. But I think our music changes with each song.
Well, jungle pop, I see it as a term that it's kind of a type of rock, sort of, which dates back from the late, I think, 80s, middle of the 80s, late 80s. And it kind of has a lot of influences from like African music. So that's kind of like what we are trying to do, sort of. It's kind of like put a little bit of tribal music, a little bit of, I don't know, probably like folkloric music, as you want to call it, and grabbing some elements of what jangle pop is, which is it's that. I mean, like African music meets modern pop 80s music, sort of, kind of like all mixed together, and something came out.
I don't really think that that's like a limit to our music being in this region, because of the internet. Like, it has sort of break all the boundaries, and we have reach for all kind of music worldwide.
Okay, one of the band members always starts the songs, and then after that we like contribute with some. Well, I play the guitar, so I like try to give some ideas, some arrangements, and then the guy from the keyboards and the bass also. But it all starts from one person, like giving the main idea of the song and what he wants.
It's a band that we like to hang out, to make music, there's not too much pressure and getting things done, And I think that's very important in our sound. We're having fun. We each have different backgrounds. I think we're all good people, good musicians, and if you put that together, I think something good comes out of it.
Los Visionaries, it's a collective. There's a little seed that got planted in Teotihuacan, Mexico. Me and my brother Edgar, we went on a backpacking trip. Little by little, we started talking ideas like, yo, when we come back to El Paso, like we should get together with a bunch of friends, artists, and like we should start a collaboration team. So initially, we were doing little things like La Parada. We did a mural downtown El Paso. And we would just do little art shows just between him and I. We were out there just kind of exploring, just, you know, kind of putting ourselves out there to the world and seeing what we got out of it. I've been friends with Diego Robot for a long time, Joey Delgado as well. Inks is another friend. I met him through his music, but he also does art. Also Erica, I got introduced to her through Diego. Little by little, we just kind of started hanging out more. And this group of artists just became really good friends, and we just decided to label it something. I like to use different materials, and I like to, since I'm always looking at things in plan view at work, like everything's like a floor plan or a site plan or something like that, that's only one way of viewing that. It also has elevations, you know, it has 4 sides, or more than 4 sides actually, but that's how I also tend to look at my art. You know, it's not only this flat 2D canvas. Like I want to go this way a little bit with it. You know, I want to go negative with it, or, you know, I don't know, include something physical to interact with the 2-dimensional stuff. I go by verses, and like where that got derived from, my name is Victor Soto. So my initials are VS, you know, this versus that, but I spell it out, VERSUS. And the whole concept behind that is, and I learned this in architecture school actually by Memo Barajas, who's a dope local architect. He says, your next project is your best project. And that quote has forever stayed in my mind. And I do not only apply it with my architecture, I apply it with my art. And that's how I always look at things, like how are you gonna make your next project better? Because if you do your next project the same as your previous one, for me at least, it's just like, why'd you even do it?
The way we go about writing is we just come in here, we jam out a little bit, and the drums will start a beat, or the guitarist will start, you know, a rhythm or melody, and we'll just keep playing until it doesn't make sense anymore. And when that part comes, we just flesh it out until it becomes something that we're all happy with. And after a year of being a band, we have no troubles writing. It all comes together pretty cohesively.
That we're all kind of equals. We all kind of bring our own flair, our own specialty when we're trying to like create these songs. And when you're playing instrumental post-rock music, they're long songs, they're cinematic, there's a lot of crescendo, there's a lot of fermata in them. And everyone kind of just comes together and they kind of bring their experience in. And when we're creating this music, like maybe one individual provides like a riff, or just like a little melody, and from there it kind of, the other members feed off of that and they create other little melodies and little riffs, and then the drums like come into play and they kind of feed off the music, and you feel what's growing and growing and growing.
Our style is just instrumental, so you know, if you find that little hole, you know, to get into it, you know, you can interpret our songs like the way you want to. We get the feedback after the shows, and people just come up to us and tell us awesome things, you know, that they feel this, or, you know, they love the music. It's a big compliment for us.
The Ground is Lava features our first 4 songs we ever wrote together as a band, and it came together pretty quickly. Chris and I moved from San Antonio to El Paso, and we found our other 3 members pretty quickly, and there's no trouble at all compiling the songs and fleshing them out after we establish a foundation.
That album came out roughly in January. We honestly were just trying to put something together to be able to start booking shows. So we don't really call it an album, we call it our demo EP.
I started pretty much playing in bands, you know, it changed a lot. I used to play punk, I used to play metal, I used to play experimental stuff. Post-rock, it's new to me, but I bring all that influence into it. So it's been great because it opens a whole bunch of different doors for me to explore and for me to create.
Well, over the past year, we've been developing our live show, and it's fun playing to audiences because we have no lyrics to our music, and they're free to interpret what each song we play means to them, or they can make their own lyrics, per se.